Hello, I'm ranking FNAF games by concept, meaning, I never played most of these games, so I'm just basing this list off of what I know about them, which is basically everything, but I will not be judging anything based on how frustrating or not frustrating it is to play.
That game was totally rigged!
This game kind of seems boring, not gonna lie. Like, yeah, animatronics get sent to your house so you collect scrap or something so that your own animatronics are cooler, and also skins. But the emails are like the lamest way to communicate information, despite having some really interesting information in them. Bonnie eats a cat, but other than that it's kinda boring in concept. Like, I'm aware some animatronics have voices and unique animations, and that's really cool, but like, I don't want to play that. Lmao.
You blinked.
Every single animatronic attacking you all at once. Very cool. Each animatronic says why they hate you after you die. Very based. I hate me too. I'd cure talking about though, because I didn't kill anyone. Anyway, it's cool and I like it, it's good, and I also like the challenges, they're so silly, and also the intermissions are also a silly concept and I think they're cool. I also like how lore is communicated through them talking, but I wish there was another way. Also, the mediocre melodies being the voice of whatever child is just like unexpected in a good way, I guess.
Now I'm going to kick your ass! Wait, what? I can't say that.
I love RPGs. I love FNAF World. Its style is unique. It has good gameplay, implements references very well like rage games and side shooters. And I like the secrets and everything, and glitching into things, and like guy, I for gore. And you know, the updates are cool too, but there's so much stuff and it seems really difficult to both stay focused on it and beat the game.
I always come back.
8. FNAF Pizza Sim. I love playing a FNAF Tycoon because tycoons are good, and you make a FNAF location? That's very good idea. I would love to make my own FNAF location asterisk, minus the murder, and the night sections or whatever is really cool too, because I like how you have something to do while waiting for the little fellas in the vents to come over to you. Molten Freddy is cool and melty, and so is Scrap Baby, Scrap Trap, and oh my. Henry's speech is killer in both concept and execution, which I admit is a little cheating, but this is my list, so stay losing, I guess.
That was not me. That was a recording. I want to make sure you are not confused.
Okay, so this is the biggest in concept one. I think Freddy Mall cool. It was an old theory / rumor, so it was super cool that it was used. I like the neon and old arcade carpet and their clothes being themed like the 80s.
Music Man!
Again, kind of cheating by using execution again, but Security Breach's execution being pretty awful. Nice and kind means I'm allowed to. Music Man's theme, holy. Anyway, also Sun and Moon are also a pretty standard animatronic. I'm glad someone did it, because Sun and Moon animatronics are like the first ideas arcade restaurants have, I feel like, because the concept of a sun and a moon are right there in the sky. Just go outside and look up Lmao. Also knew he was destined to be maybe not a Tumblr Smixy Man, but some kind of Smixy Man. The second Moon speaks. They knew. Anyway, running around the pizzaplex like a little cockroach trying to not get stepped on is a silly idea and really cool as an idea. William Afton is back again, giving me Boy Who Cried Wolf vibes, but it's an old crinkly man who needs to go back to bed in hell. Vanny's cool. Why is she like that? What's she doing? What the bunny like? Is she an Afton fangirl? Is she mind controlled? Does she have the Afton rabbit / malhair disease? Who knows? What is up with this thing? Gregory, does he have parents? Why is he homeless? Does he robot? Question mark. Beeped and booped? Lots of questions, maybe too many, but definitely a lot. Interesting.
What a party pooper!
Being lowered, only God knows how far down into the depths of what is only used now to store animatronics. Crawl through vents, do maintenance, hide. These animatronics' faces split open, and that's God's gift to man. It's very cool to see the wires in their face, even if highly inaccurate. More wires does not mean more advanced, it means less space. Anyway, I like how they trick you into giving them your skin shell, and how they steal it and walk away with it on them. And also Innard is cool because mess of wires, and also innards. Lmao. Also his mouth is really weird compared to others. Oh, and I like that William's own creation killed his daughter. Very based of him. And I think the TV show At the End of the Night is cool and funny, and Hand Unit is a nuisance in a funny way. Not charming funny though. YouTube, funny. And also I like the alternate ending being initiated by fighting in Nerd. That's very cool. Security Breach copied this homework.
It will be fun.
FNAF in VR. What more do I need to say really? A terrifying experience enhanced by feeling as though you are right there. And even if not in VR mode, they are very cool 3D, as Click Team is not 3D, renditions of the best games. And of course there's the repair segments. I love fixing the smelly ash robots. I find the mechanics of animatronics interesting, and even though all of this is bull in real life, it's still very cool, and the vent segments are cool too. I love Mangland and Nerd, and I like how small and cramped it is, along with all the things happening all around you in arm's reach. Not to mention the lore, Jerma removes his face. And Afton being a glitchy rabbit virus that can get into your head is very unique, at least for FNAF. All the Cult of Afton stuff is super interesting. I'd love to hear about a bunch of Afton fanboys, gender neutral, trying to do something similar to him and maybe have his same high intelligence low wisdom problem or some entirely new problem. Dreadbear DLC was quite entertaining as well, with the brain and the trick or treat one, interesting and unique for FNAF.
Hey, glad you came back for another night.
Green theme and Grow the Yucky Ash location and Yucky Gross Crumbly Rabbit serial killer with a corpse inside. It's magnificent. And the fact that the place burns down but William isn't dead yet was cool. At least until Pizza Sim. Anyway, most of the minigames seem repetitive until Stage 1 and the Shadow Bonnie ones, which seem really cool for short minigames. It's also interesting how you get into the Stage 1 minigame by clicking the tiles on the wall, which is weird for Michael, like is he okay, does he need sleep? 3. FNAF 4. It's pitch black outside, and no one else is around. It's almost completely silent other than the chime of the grandfather clock. Until you hear footsteps. Then you see your worst nightmare, and you slam the door shut. That's dope. Holy hell. Me when I was 11 for real. And the lore? Kid gets spited on his own birthday. Holy gods. Wondrous. And by his brother. Sublime. And don't even get me started on the box. It's such an interesting way to intrigue your fans. The minigames are kind of mid though until you know.
You're not even in the right game!
Set the scene. Really dark compared to the other ones, like literally visually darker, other than maybe FNAF 4. I think it's pretty good, and I like how Foxy can be seen running to your office when you forget about him. Not much lore-wise yet other than missing children posters and Golden Freddy, which is really cool by the way, because of how he stands out yet fits in when he appears in the office and also appearing in the poster. I also like how Scott, after hearing about the 1987 custom night myth, added it in. Like whenever that happens it's really cool, and I think lore-wise this game stands best on its own because of the whole 1987 thing, especially with how Golden Freddy is now associated with some children, which is another thing. When I think of Golden Freddy as a mysterious entity, I think he's scarier than if he's children, because it's going from what is that thing, and viewing them purely as he appears, to seeing him as vengeful children / one child, because then who's just a yellow bear with angry children inside, which don't get me wrong, it's scary, it just makes him more human and less mysterious entity. Like that's why FNAF is less scarier than initially, because I know what these ghosts want, at least vaguely. They're people, and their wants can be met, versus an entity with unknown meaning, and unknown power, who knows what they could do next and who knows when they'll stop. Or you know. Yellow bear. Oops, I went off on that one lol.
The others are under my protection.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I'm gonna be so real right now, this game is easy. This game even in concept is easy, and not very scary. The purple guy animatronic hoax is more interesting to me than this game. Like WOSA 11 to 15 animatronics, holy shit. But like I don't like how the toy animatronics look, they're too brightly colored. The puppet is cool though, and while the withered animatronics are kinda mid, they're not the toy animatronics, so they're okay. Like I really like Withered Bonnie. Oh my god, I love the lore in this game though. This is when death minigames were introduced and I like it, gives me a break for some lore. I like all of the minigames, they're all really good and very ominous in a non-cartoony way, and also very direct in a way where you can't ignore that there had to have been murders that took place here unless you literally don't die once. which isn't that hard, but we're not talking about that. I'm going to talk about them all individually because I feel like it. I'll explain why not being able to ignore the dead kids thing is a good thing in this game at the end of explaining them all. Save him/take cake to the children. You play as Freddy and you give cake to children as a voice spells out SAVEHIM, and outside there is a child all alone, and then purple guy drives by, gets out. The child's eyes get super big and then they turn gray. At this point you can't move anymore and all of the children get red and you get jump scared by the puppet. Now this was supposed to be the crying child originally or something like that, but then it was changed. But I like this. Like, who is that guy? I don't even know his name yet. Who are these people? Why did this happen? A lot of questions about less what happened and more how this is connected to gameplay. That's a good thing in my opinion. Foxy, go go go. I like the urgency in that. Anyway, you play as Foxy and at the top it says go, go, go. And you literally just walk into the next room and the children cheer. You repeat this, but there's a purple guy in the corner of the starting room. And then you do this again, but the children don't cheer and they're all gray, presumably dead. I really like how gray is used to represent dead characters. It's very effective. Also how simple these minigames are. Although this one's kinda too simple in my opinion, but at least it's to the point. More so, what I mean by simple is that a lot of times characters are represented in their most basic form, like Freddy, occasionally just being an orange blob with a microphone, or a hat. Save them. In this minigame you play as Freddy again, and you follow the puppet to a room. This minigame can end in multiple ways. For red static, 1 if you touch the dead children, 2 if you touch Mangle, 3 if you follow the puppet to the end room, and 4 if you touch Golden Freddy. There is a different ending where the purple guy finds you and runs over to you, and you get a blue static screen that says you can't at the bottom. I love this because, like, what can't I do? What is it, huh? And you know Golden Freddy cool and again can't ignore the fact that children have died here. And there's no jump scare at the end. Interesting. Give gifts, give life. In this game you control the puppet who gives 4 dead kids gifts and then opens them to put the masks on their heads, and then last second a 5th child appears, and then there's a Golden Freddy jump scare. This one is my favorite because it specifically states that the children need to be given life, making it impossible to forget that this game has child murder in it. Then there's a mysterious 5th child which little is known about, but now we know that Golden Freddy is also a child because of the jump scare that follows. This is still cool because it seems Golden Freddy, despite being more personified, still feels like pure rage, but the same concept I talked about in the FNAF 1 part is still present. We don't know if or when this rage can be fulfilled, or what will fulfill it. We don't know when this child's rage would end. Very reasonable conclusion. So why is it important that we are reminded that children were murdered? Recently it feels like William Afton is just a goofy, cartoonishly evil type because the only thing that's really reinforced is that ghosts chase him around because he hurt them, but he's so cartoonishly evil that he always evades the consequences. And not to spit out the same old whatever, but FNAF seems to be distancing itself from the fact that this purple guy brutally murdered at least 4 children and got away with it. That he is a serial killer, and that he shoved their bodies into suits. In the Save Them minigame it shows their blood on the ground. But he's gone from mysterious serial killer to goofy rabbit man who will evaporate if you touch him. Sorry if that's controversial, I like him always, except in Security Breach I just think he's slaying the most in FNAF 2. Like literally slaying. Please share your opinions on these games in the comments, and please keep in mind that, 1, this list is based off of concept, like Security Breach being glitchy isn't considered, or the way that the stealth works in that game isn't considered either. And 2, I'm just some idiot on the internet who goes yippee when Freddy eyes glow and music box starts to play. Don't forget to rate my video, and maybe subscribe if you want to. I wish you happiness in your future or something like that. Bye.